Welcome to the This Could Make Us Famous podcast. You've heard all the stories of the rich and famous. But what about everybody else? Some of the greatest and funniest stories come from everyday people. Here, we share their stories and just maybe make them famous. Let's get started. Here is your host, Jason McCormick.
What is going on, everyone out there? Welcome back to the podcast. I am Jason, and today we have a special guest, one of Charlie Bartha's friends, Mr. Scott Mccollum. Is that it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Mccollum! Welcome to the show, Scott.
Thanks.
Scott
Jason.
is a good friend. I mean, how long have you guys known each other, Charlie?
Pretty much since I've been down here, so about going on 8 years probably.
8 years.
Yeah.
That's a long time. A lot of history in 8 years. So in those 8 years, did you guys do any fishing trips or anything together?
No
Fishing.
He's done fishing trips, but I haven't.
Yeah, Charlie was telling me you are a fisherman. You like to fish. And what do you like to fish for?
Fish.
That it's funny.
I like to
That's
fish for
funny he
fish.
said that because when I went to Miami, probably about 4 or 5 years ago, you guys were watching our son. He was like just born basically. And we went down to the pier in South Beach, and this Haitian dude was fishing, and I was like being friendly, and I'm like, "Hey man, what are you fishing for?" And he's like, "Fish, man." And I was like, "Okay, well, have fun." I was just this friendly Midwestern guy that, I don't know. It's a different culture down there. Have you ever been to Miami?
I've been to Miami a few times, and I've been to Haiti actually a few times. So when you say that you ran into a Haitian down there fishing at the pier, that's pretty accurate statement.
Really? Yeah. I mean, I was taken back. I didn't know how to respond to that because he's making a true statement.
That's right.
He is fishing for fish.
Absolutely.
But I wanted to know what kind of fish.
Maybe he's fishing for men.
He could have been fishing for men.
Ooh.
Or he could have been magnet fishing. Have you heard of that?
Yeah.
Yep.
I've been wanting to do that so bad. I would end up finding a murder weapon down in the, especially,
With your fingerprints.
Yeah, with my fingerprints all over it. Like, I found this gun. Like, sir, your fingerprints are all over it. Like, shoot.
Oh, I wasn't supposed to play with it before I called you?
Yeah, I wasn't supposed to touch it and sweat all over it and get my DNA, put my hair follicles all over it. Like, and then also we're joined by, I don't want to forget, a buddy of mine. I ain't going to show you, and they have no idea who you are, but I got a friend here. So his name's Randy, and his address and social security number is, he's wearing a reddish shirt and a Kansas City Royals hat. Yeah, I'm glad you're a Royals fan. I am a huge Royals fan, but more of a Chiefs fan, which I was, honestly, I was disappointed in the game. Did you watch the...
Did not watch the game.
Oh my God. Are you a Chiefs fan at all?
Or
a football fan at all?
I like football, but honestly, I think I like college ball better than
Ah,
professional ball.
no,
Yes,
man.
sir. Yep.
Hey, that wasn't very nice.
I know, I didn't mean to hit that button. I'm still trying to figure out what they are, but...
You know, that's what those things underneath the board are for. They tell you what.
Oh, I put them over there.
Oh.
You can write on
Yeah.
what button is which. No, the Chiefs, I'm pretty blown away at how they've been doing. They were 4-0, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the stinking Raiders just whooped up on us. So, but
Yeah, but the Raiders have been stacking their team for a couple of years.
yeah, well, I don't know. I still think the Chiefs are going to make it to the Super Bowl. It's just one loss, but I believe the Miami Dolphins are the only one in history to actually win every game, including the Super Bowl. So, and everyone's been trying to do that, and unfortunately, the Chiefs won't be able to do that this year, thanks to the Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders. So, have they had their game at the new stadium, or you have no idea about anything NFL?
I have no idea about anything.
I didn't
NFL.
think that was in effect until 2021.
Really? They had, okay. Well, that's Randy's voice. You can't hear it. I should put a screen grab and just put your face up there and leave it the whole podcast. Yeah, Randy's shy. His face is red right now. Look at
It
that.
matches his shirt right
Matches
now.
his shirt.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I had never got into college football, but it's funny because at my work, there's a bunch of people that are being contracted out, and they're all from Alabama. And they were telling me, they're like, dude, we don't watch like NFL, really. It's all about college football, college basketball. And a lot of southern states, they're all about college ball. So I don't know much about.
Well, Alabama doesn't have a professional team, I don't believe.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Nope. They have like a semi-professional team, they told me. But so anyways, we don't want to talk about football. I wanted to talk a little bit about your background. I hear that you guys go to the same church, right?
Sometimes.
Sometimes?
Yeah, we do.
Oh, okay. I was like, ooh, let's talk about that.
That's right.
So what do you do at church there? Like, do you just regularly attend as just a normal attendee, or do you actually have a role at the church?
Well, I think everybody has a role at the church.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
if you want to get right down to it,
Let's do it. Let's get right to it.
The church isn't within the four walls of any building. We are the church.
Oh, preach it.
You know, I'm pretty sure it says where two or more gathered in my name, there I am also. So since we're actually right here, if we're going to discuss the things of Jesus or the things of the Lord, are we not having church?
We're having church.
So, but for your question, I've been attending there very regularly for the last, I believe, 10 going on 11 years, and I'm on the teaching team. So I had been alternating Sundays. Now I'm at about a rotation every third week or so. I do Sundays. I teach every Wednesday, and I'm an elder at the church.
You're an elder.
Yep.
Wow, I didn't realize you were elder.
I mean, I am too, but
Of
I'm
elder
elder
age.
a different way.
Oh yeah, you're not a deacon.
No,
Oh, those deacons, man, with their penny loafer
I'm
shoes.
just one of the older ones.
Yeah, we got the gray hair, so I think
whatever.
You
went over the 50. Yeah,
Whatever.
you're definitely an elder.
Yeah.
You're my elder at least. So
50's the new 30, right?
yeah, 50's the new 30.
That's it.
I mean, some guy I was talking to me years ago, and he's like, dude, when you hit 50, it's like the day I turned 50, everything hurt. It's like, it's so weird. I turned 50, and then I woke up, and I'm like, I can't believe this. Everything hurts in my body. So, but anyways, so I definitely agree with what you're saying about, the church. I mean, we all have heard that message about what we are, the church.
Absolutely.
But I don't think people really fully grasp that and understand what that truly means. Some of the best encounters I've had with God was outside of church, like doing a small group with friends and like having my guitar and doing worship. It was some of the greatest times I've ever had connecting with people and outside of the, four walls. But it's nice to get together at church and encourage one another and just socialize and get to know one another. But then going out there and you see that a lot lately, an explosion of small groups.
Yes.
In house churches and stuff like that. So
we do a small group also, a small group house church, whatever you want to call it. We meet every Sunday night at 5:00, and we try to be tentatively over around 8:30, but for some reason don't ever really get to go home till 10, 11.
It's one of those kind of meetings where it's just so good that.
Well, it starts out with food.
Yeah, it starts out with food.
Okay, yeah, food,
fellowship, and just camaraderie. So much. It's such a much more intimate setting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's an opportunity for, you got kids running around, dogs running around, cats running around. It isn't so put together, suits and ties and just, hey, how you doing? But you actually get to share life with one another. And I think that's real. That's where real ministry actually happens.
Yeah.
It's, sharing lives.
And occasionally you get that one random person that thinks that it's a great time to rebuke somebody, and they just stand up and I just feel like the Lord is just telling me to rebuke you. And I really like those small group settings. I do feel like you were saying you feel more comfortable, more relaxed. I feel like church, there's more of a performance
Absolutely.
Aspect to, doing a church service than just being in a small group setting. But you feel that connection with people more. It's more personal. And I think in the future, especially with all this stuff going on in the world, house churches are going to be more of a normal. But you guys go to Church on the Rock in Harrisonville.
Yes, sir. Yep.
And it's a funny story because I've been there, Church on the Rock, under the previous administration or pastor that was there. Mm-hmm. But when I grew up, I got saved in a church called Church on the Rock in St. Peters, Missouri.
No joke.
Yeah, and so when Charlie said he was going to a church called Church on the Rock, I was like, no way, dude. Like, that just brought me back to when I got saved as a kid. But this church is like a mega church now. Like, their sanctuary looks like a stadium. Like, it's crazy. But yeah, it was a good church, good solid church. So, but I've been saved since, I don't know, probably third or fourth grade, living for the Lord, and trying to, at least.
Oh yeah.
But
I thought you were going to say since October 12th, 2020.
Hey, we could go there. We could go there. I'm sure a lot of people, once 2021 comes, people are going to be turning their lives back to God and making new commitments, and so. But yeah, this year's been, dude. If people didn't know Jesus before, I feel like a lot of people really came to the Lord this year.
It's been a year of trials.
There's a lot to be said about 2020.
Yep, trials and tribulations.
What's your take on, just as a whole? You don't have to get into detail about everything, but at 2020, like, what's going on in 2020? What is your thoughts on it as a whole?
As a whole, what some people call turmoil, other people call a blessing. You know, so it's all about perspective. It's which side, not that there are sides, but it's kind of like, which side do you look at it from? Which side of the pendulum, did you find your value in doing things? Did you find your value in work? Did you find your value in hobbies? Did you find your value in family?
Right.
Did you find your value in
That's
friends?
Good.
And depending on, which side of the pendulum you was on, 2020 could absolutely be devastating. It could be catastrophic. On the other hand, there's people on the other side of the spectrum that believe that 2020 has been a godsend. It's an opportunity to reconnect with family, reconnect with friends, put down our magical devices that consume so much of our time, and actually reconnect face to face. Pick up the phone, call mom, call dad. Rekindle relationships.
Yeah.
And so really, depending on which side of the pendulum you're looking at things from, it could be horrible or it could be amazing.
Yeah.
For my family, I think it's been really good. Where we work a lot. I own a business. My wife, she does part of my business, running invoices and all the paperwork and payroll and all that stuff. And she also works for the post office. She has a full-time job there. So her and I, we're grinding all the time. And busy. For the world to shut down, that was a blessing.
Yeah.
It was an opportunity for us to kind of reconnect and take a breath of fresh air. And so I don't know. For us, it's been great. For other people, it has not been so great. But regardless, we put our trust in the Lord. And I understand that I'm in the palm of His hand,
mm-hmm.
and He's going to walk with me through whatever it is He's set before us, good, bad, or indifferent.
Yeah.
And so just trusting that He has everything under control has really alleviated a lot of anxiety and stress.
I really like what you said. It's all of this is just a matter of perspective. Like, the way you want to see it. Like, you could see 2020 and all this stuff going on as a bad thing. Of course, if you want to see, you could see a lot of negativity if you choose to, or you can see God's hand in everything. And I don't do this every day in my life, and I think that's a good thing, though. If we could shift our mindset, and if we would try to see the good in everything that happens, even if something is bad, like, what good is in it? Like, am I going to learn from this? And I think that's a good point you made. Like, 2020, it should have brought people closer together. Like, we were all quarantined in our homes, so we were close to our families. Did we have our phones in our faces, or were we actually sitting down and, like, spending time and getting to know one another and our loved ones and even our friends? We were kind of shut off from our friends during that time frame, but that brings me to, I'm glad you mentioned that about cell phones, because our first segment I wanted to talk about was social media and its role in this world. Like, what purpose do you think social media should play and shouldn't play? And how do you think it's affected society as a whole? Because I was watching this documentary today called Social Dilemma on Netflix. Some of you guys might have watched it, but it really opened my eyes. I knew that social media was affecting people, but when you actually heard from people that were executives, like in Twitter and, other big companies like Facebook and Google, and hearing their story and how it freaked them out, and they were the ones behind the scenes, it really opened my eyes. Like, wow, dude, like these people like Facebook and Google, they are in our lives and they're influencing people. And so I wanted to hear your take on social media and what do you think it's doing, the good and the bad.
My take on social media is I'm a work in progress. So even as I say these things, it's revelatory to myself. And I think that moderation is the key. And anytime you're involved with whatever it is you're involved with, balance is where the activity needs to be. And too much of anything is usually not good. Too much work is time away from your family. Too much fun is you're not generating income. Too much relaxation, again, there's consequences to everything that we do. So little moments of time, I don't think are a big deal, but it's wild actually that you brought this up is I thought that I had deactivated it, but I just, what did I do?
You just deleted the Facebook
deleted
app?
the app off of my phone. Yeah.
Right.
And so I had figured out that I'd been getting sucked in almost. Any little bit of free time that I had, I would go to social media just to see what's going on. And I began to recognize I was given, over an hour a day, whether it was 5, 10, 15 minutes in these small increments when you add it all up. And really I think that it could be used for good. I think that it could be used for promoting good things and activities and bringing things together. However, it seems like we as a nation, I feel like we've lost the ability to dialogue. We've lost the ability to have a difference of opinion and still have the utmost respect for the other individual with whatever it is that we're talking about.
Right.
And so when there's any difference of opinion, we turn into mighty keyboard warriors. We like to slander, we call names, and it's just absolutely ridiculous. So I myself have had to unplug from that.
Yeah.
I try to do good. I make mistakes. I get frustrated. I've gotten angry. I've had to delete people, add people that there's.
Oh, that whole drama.
Drama. Absolutely. And what's really wild is I haven't been on any of it for about 2 weeks. And I can tell you for the first week, it was really difficult. I mean, any free time that I had, I was grabbing my phone, but there was no longer an app there to go to.
Right.
I was like, okay, now what do I do?
Isn't that weird? It's like, it kind of reminds me of what do they say with the amputee? Like they feel like their limb is still there, but it's the same thing like with the app, like you delete it, but you're still going. And even when you have the app, like I still have my Facebook, how many times do you just, open your phone up and then push on Facebook and close out of it, and then open it up and push on Facebook? Dude, that's crazy. Like we are addicted.
That's right.
Like it's probably just as bad as like cocaine and like sugar. And Charlie, we haven't heard much from you. What is your?
I don't know what you're talking about.
He's over there. He's like, that person blocked me. Or you see it? Hey.
Yeah, right. He's checking his social media right here in the middle of a podcast.
Right. Oh, somebody was saying that. They're like, who's that guy that just keeps looking at their phone the whole time? And I think that played a part in me making you the fact checker guy over there. So what do you have to say about all this social media hoopla? All right, that's all he's got to say.
Yeah.
I hear his brain working.
Yeah.
Well, it can be time consuming, but there's a lot of things that can be time consuming for you. So I'm okay with it done in moderation. If you can do it in moderation, I personally don't have a life, so I spend a lot of time in it.
Well, thanks for being honest.
Yeah. Well, Cindy says, "Oh, you're in it all the time," and I look mine up and look at her time up, and I'm like, "Oh, okay." But a lot of mine, I have, just because I'm on doesn't mean I'm on Facebook talking to friends or whatever.
Right.
There's a lot of good pastors out there, or prophets, or revelatories, or whatever they want to call themselves, evangelists, that we listen to.
Right.
And so it has its good and has its bad.
Yeah, I agree. Like, that's a good way to look at, I mean, even with TV and just the internet, whatever, there's good and bad to everything. And anything you do, you want to do it in moderation, except for drugs. You don't want to do drugs. You just don't want to do drugs at all.
I thought you were going to say you can always go overboard.
You could go overboard with drugs, but and that was the end of my podcast. That was the last podcast I ever did. Yeah, I would just. But
what was that podcast number?
We can. 11? You know what? We refer to that like every podcast we do. We always refer to number 8.
About,
the one with my friend.
Yeah, your friend
from my friend Matt. Oh, yeah. He's a cool guy. I grew up with him, but it's kind of like everyone's got those friends that are not Christians, and they're still good friends that you grew up with. And so we were reminiscing on stories and I didn't really, I kind of lost touch with him throughout the years, and Facebook helped me stay connected, and he came and did a thing, and he was talking about his experience with magic mushrooms, which I wanted to talk to you about your mushroom deal. Like, he doesn't do mushrooms. Okay. Sorry. He doesn't do mushrooms, but he picks mushrooms, but we're still talking about social media.
Yeah.
But I thought you were referring to number 8 with
number
Mike
8
Mann.
was worse. Number 8 is gonna go
I was
down
speechless.
in
I was speechless.
Yeah.
Like, because we had a new
after warning him.
Yeah, we had a producer, a new producer, is a very good friend of mine, and he brought his friend on, and this guy, I was like, I want to keep it clean because I got Christian people, I got elderly people that watch it, family members, friends. I got a variety of people, so let's just keep it clean or whatever. And he's like, F yeah, man. I'm like, all right, this is going to be a long night. This is going to be a really long night. So I wish I would have had this, but I didn't have that button. So,
Well, you would have been on that button 90% of this program.
right. And so while I'm editing, I'm just like, oh my goodness. I'm like, I was using a little rooster crow every time he said that. And after I edited it, like months later, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go back and just see, like, I'm just going to check it out, like how the podcast was. And so I'm listening to it, and I get halfway in and I forgot one of the bleeps. And so it was just like, I'm like, I can't believe this. But anyways, yeah. So yeah, social media, that's what we were talking about. I think that's why, and this is what I wanted to say. I wanted to drive this home. I think this is why people continuously use it and don't delete it, is because they use the excuse of, well, it helps me connect with my friends and stay connected. And that's okay. That's okay. But that shouldn't be the only reason why we keep things, is it a good thing for us? Are we, is it unhealthy for us to do, or to be on Facebook? Are we addicted? Are we constantly opening up the app? Are we constantly, closing it? And are we getting involved in the drama? And, the thing is, we're adults. Like, oh, I'm going to block you and whatever. And I've done that. I was immature, and when I get into it with somebody and all of a sudden I block them, and then I'd add them a few months later. And so it's just, we get caught in this childish stuff, especially with all the politics going on, getting on there and posting, things that, that people would debate about, and controversial things. And it just creates division. And I feel like if you can't have social media and it'd be a positive thing in your life, then you probably shouldn't have it,
Yeah, I agree with you totally. It seems like, unfortunately, the world that we live in now is it's all about division.
Yeah.
Where I was kind of saying earlier, we've lost the ability to have a dialogue and have a difference of opinion with respect and honor and integrity. And now, when there's a difference of opinion, it's we treat each other with contempt and with animosity and hatred. And I just don't think that's the way to go.
Yeah.
There's a million different things you can use Facebook for. You can use it to promote your business. You could use it to promote ministry. There's share for shares where you can share information to your however many viewers with other companies or other things. There's a lot of benefits to it, but there's also a lot of negative to it as well. And, we can't forget that a lot of the things that we're looking at on Facebook is the best of people's lives, the best of the best. We're looking at the highlight reel.
Yeah, not the real.
And then we actually begin to compare our lives with other people's highlight reel, and it can put you in a dangerous place. And I don't know. I was beginning to recognize in myself that I was picking up a lot of negativity. There's even with the scriptures and trying to catch other people's ministries, and no matter how much we try to find the good in it, it's just constantly some form of negativity and division. So I've decided to give that stuff up. Yeah. And honestly, like I said, the first week was a little bit difficult, but now I'm a little more available to my wife, a little more available to my daughter, to my son, to friends.
Right.
I find myself reaching out, just shooting a buddy a text message, because even though
I'm glad you finished that sentence.
Yeah, you're
shooting my buddy, like.
Yeah, no, we're not shoot him. Shoot him a text message. But because our Facebook or whatever, our Twitter account can say that we have 1,000 followers or 400 friends, but when it comes right down to it, how many of them people do we really talk to?
Right.
I got 10 people or less that I share my life with.
Yeah.
Consistently and for real, in reality, and go have dinner with them and check on them and call on them.
Yeah.
And it's freed up time to actually cultivate the real relationships that I have in my life instead of the fake book relationships that I have in my life.
Yeah.
I like that fake book.
Yeah. And I was talking to someone several months ago, and I was just talking about that very thing. Like, it's not, we view success and like by the amount, the quantity of friends we have, but it should be about the quality of friends we have, not the quantity,
100 pennies or 4 quarters. What do you want?
Yeah. What do you want? And honestly, you could have all kinds of friends, but you could still be broke. Like you could have all kinds of money, but still be broke and empty on the inside. And so it's important that we surround ourselves. I mean, everybody's got their best Facebook profile picture up, showing how beautiful they are, and then you see them in person, you're like, okay, you got a beer gut, you got you got crooked teeth, like
great.
Whatever, you got pimples all over your face and whatever. So we try to sell ourselves as something that we're not. And what better example than what's going on right now with the mask? Like, we have to wear a mask. At my job, I talk about my job every day or every podcast, but I work in a place that requires me to wear a mask for 12 hours. So there's some people, like, I'd be sitting in the break room and I'm like, is that so-and-so? And you can't tell because how different someone looks when you just cover their face, and you don't show their full face. Like, you're just seeing their eyes. And it just reminded me of like how we all can be so good at wearing a mask, even before this pandemic.
Well, I'm not against, but I'm not for either.
What?
That's my person. Excuse me. That's why I don't like women to wear makeup.
A mask is a mask, right?
A mask is a mask. You're covering up your natural.
I do like makeup on women, though. I just want to be clear. My wife that's probably listening to this and watching,
She knows my view on that.
But I agree with you. No, I understand.
I'm not against them.
Right. But I definitely understand that because, I mean, how many, ladies have you seen that are wearing like makeup on top of makeup on top of makeup? And it's like, where is the person underneath that?
We had a lady that came in and she was that way until she actually got a boyfriend. And she would come into the store, and I don't know where she got this stuff from or what she thought she was looking like, but she was worse than Bozo the Clown. She had gold. Her face was gold, completely gold. And then she like highlight, underneath her eyes. But her face, she put so much toner or whatever the heck it is on her that she looked gold. Like I could take her down and turn her in for some cash.
Can I get? I want to get an appraisal on.
That's funny.
I love gold.
And she did that, and nobody. All everybody did was I just looked at her and couldn't look at her, And when she'd come back and ask questions, I'd answer them and everything like that. But
so you're telling me you don't wear gold makeup, Charlie? Like,
no,
because you had 2 daughters. They didn't put makeup on you.
Not in public.
Not in public, but behind the scenes, you were wearing makeup and a little tutu, and you had tea time with your daughters. I know this guy definitely did.
No,
Come
sir.
on, tell me about your tea time with your daughter.
I did. I would do tea time. Absolutely, I did tea time, which was really funny. One time I had a buddy over, and she was really little, and she asked us to come have tea with her, and we did, and she served us pickles. And my buddy absolutely hated pickles, and so he did the amazing manly thing, and he ingested it. And I don't think I'll ever forget the facial expression he made as he was chewing and swallowing the pickle, which he absolutely hated, just to make my daughter feel loved. And appreciated.
That's a good man.
That was a good friend.
Yeah.
That is a good. That's what you call a good friend right there.
And absolutely hilarious.
The guy I share an office with, the guy I share an office at work with. He's that same way.
Yeah.
You even mentioned pickle. Like, I'll go in the store and there'll be pickle wine or pickle pop or something like that, and I'll send him a picture of it. And he'll immediately send me back emoji with vomiting.
Oh, my gosh.
And I'm like...
Dude, I love pickles.
So well, I do too. So we were at this dinner at work one time, or luncheon for work, and the boss said something to him about, if you eat a pickle, I'll eat pig's feet. And
I don't like
that was the first time I seen him react where he didn't kind of like he was going to throw up. He's like, that might be worth that. I'll eat a pickle just to see you do that.
Oh, wow. Well, I can only imagine because I hate onions.
I almost left the store. I almost left the meeting and go to the store and get a
pickle.
Well, we already had pickles, but I was going to get a jar of the...
All right, so the next thing I want to talk about is my recent COVID-19 diagnosis. I'm just kidding. I'm joking.
Hang on.
See, look at his face. He's I'm not afraid of that, man.
I'm not. No, I'm not.
Hallelujah.
Yep.
Hang on a second.
All right, Charlie, what do you got for us?
What do you got, Charlie?
Who knows what he's got?
According to Pew Research Center.
According to what?
Pew Research Center.
That stinks.
That does stink.
Where's my... Oh, yeah, I'm glad I got
These are
right
the percentages of adults that use social media sites online or on their mobile. So which one do you think's on top?
Probably the most.
Yeah, most is on top.
That's
yeah.
That's a really good one right there. This guy's got joke. All right, go ahead. Tell me, Charlie. I need to know.
You can only have 100% of the people, right?
Yeah.
So 73% already are using Facebook or YouTube. 68 are using Facebook. Well, that's already over 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
35 use Instagram, 29 Pinterest, Snapchat 27, LinkedIn 25, and Twitter 24.
Really? Dang, those are facts right there. Charlie the fact checker, throwing facts at us.
We like facts.
I love facts. That reminds me of what Mike Pence said. Sorry, I didn't want to get in politics. I just want to say this. I love what Mike Pence said at the vice president debate. And he said, you're entitled to your own opinions, but you're not your own facts.
That's a good statement.
That was good. So, boom. And then the fly stole the show. That was fun. Did you watch it at all or no? Okay.
No, sir. Did not.
Okay, but yeah, it was a good debate because Charlie, he's no longer on the podcast. Let me see if I can push this real quick. Charlie, talk.
Hello.
I love how this thing just closed out when I said Mike Pence and I'm telling you what, it's a conspiracy theory.
It did a few minutes before, I think, the Pence statements.
The Penn State. See, I'm telling you, Google.
I seen
Andrew.
it turn red, and I thought about reaching over there like, hey, did this thing just turn off?
Holy smokes.
But
It is a conspiracy, dude.
Yep, they're out to
They're
get
out
us.
to get us. That was my best Alex Jones voice.
Oh boy, give it up, give it
yeah.
up, give it up. And what were you going with?
I don't even remember because that distracted me. What was I saying?
I don't know because I too was distracted.
By
I think it was the fly.
Oh yeah,
Fly
so
stole
the
show.
the vice president debate, I thought that was really good because the presidential debate was a disaster. It was very immature, whatever. But then Mike Pence had his debate with Kamala Harris, and he had some really good facts. And then all of a sudden, the fly shows up and lands on his head. And Mike Pence, he's got beautiful, perfect, like politician hair,
Yep.
And the fly's just sitting right there, and he doesn't even notice it, and he's just like doing his thing, and everybody was distracted, and of course I get on social media, and I noticed that it went viral.
That's all over.
Instantly. It was like Flygate, so he had like all this amazing stuff he was saying, and then it all just kind of went out the window when the fly showed up. So I was like, that was the devil. I'm telling you, it was the devil, or the Democrats with the little robot fly that just like bzzz, lands on their head. But yeah, anyway, so social media, it can be good, it can be bad. If it's bad for your life, get rid of it. So that's my take on social media. But you don't have any questions for us, Charlie?
No, I didn't have time to get any.
No time for that.
No. Well,
We should have
I can make up some, but I'm not going to know the answers.
So you could just make up something random and
Make up something. No, just ask questions.
You know what? I need to see you eat jelly beans.
Yeah, let's
No,
watch you eat
I'm
jelly
tired.
beans.
They're not
He
on my
always
diet.
has me doing like all the challenges, and
I
then
can't. It's not keto. You find me a keto-friendly jelly bean, I'll eat it.
oh yeah, so you're still doing the keto and you're staying faithful to it.
Oh yeah.
I'm proud of you, Charlie.
Yep.
How much weight have you lost? Have you checked yourself recently?
Last check was last
It went off again.
week,
Whatever.
Monday.
We just got audio of Charlie now. Last Monday,
Last Monday, it was 32 pounds.
32 pounds.
32 pounds.
Insane, dude. And I've seen like
2 inches. 2
Wow.
inches around the waist. 32 pounds.
Yeah, I noticed your biceps are a little smaller.
your bite. He's like, all right, I'm gonna break the diet now. No more dieting.
Oh, you did say waist. 2 inches off the waist, not the arms.
Yeah.
Don't mess with the guns.
Don't mess with the guns.
Very much there anyway.
No, I've
Little
noticed
bit of-
though that
little bit of flap.
your face has been thinning out, and like your belly is not. Huh?
Nothing?
Yeah, his face has been getting thinner.
I would never say my brother has a fat face. What is wrong with this guy?
He doesn't.
I'm giving him
You're
a hard
looking
time.
great, man. I saw the other day he was like mowing his grass. You only did that twice this year, and you were a lot thinner. So I try to diet. I try to do the best I can, but dude, it's kind of like fasting. I mean, like when you commit yourself to fast for like religious reasons, and then all of a sudden that's the one time that a friend calls you up and is like, hey man, I'm going to go get this all you can eat steak dinner. And dude, I pay for you. I'll cover you. And then you're like, well, I'll just start my
But you know
fast."
what that is, don't you?
No. What is it?
That's temptation.
It
There
is
you go.
temptation.
I was
Bring it.
My lovely bride's been trying to coax me into going onto any kind of diet with her.
Just
whether it's
pick a diet.
The Daniel fast, the keto, the intermittent fasting.
Oh, she told me she was not doing the Daniel fast.
She said she wasn't.
She's not going to do that.
You guys saw that, and so I think we're a couple weeks into now, and we just kind of brushing it off, and thank the good Lord, one of her coworkers said we should Daniel fast.
Oh.
but
She did research and she's
Did
like,
she? She said no thanks.
No
son,
thanks.
No thanks. Dang it.
I said,
So-
well, that's just fruits and vegetables, Susie. She's like, I ain't doing that.
So
Man.
the Daniel fast, can you have nuts and stuff?
You
Like,
can have a few nuts,
yep.
but it's mostly just fruits and vegetables.
wow. I can't decide what diet I would do, but I do know this. I need to give up soda, or Charlie likes to call it pop.
I like pop. Good.
You like pop?
Again, soda comes from a fountain. Pop comes from a can or a bottle.
If you say so. If you say so.
Soda, like a fountain, like it, just a
Yeah.
fast food restaurant.
soda.
That has
Or back in the day when they pulled the handle.
Oh yeah, like A&W root beer.
All I know is I need to stop drinking that stuff.
It's bad for you.
It is bad, and there's
Well, that other one that has more calories than the pop, you need to stop drinking too.
Energy drinks.
energy drinks. Is that what you're talking about?
No, the one where you can't drive a car after you drink it.
Oh,
yeah.
alcohol. Yeah, that's
alcohol.
bad.
Bad.
Nothing good about alcohol,
Nothing.
and it definitely gives you a belly.
Just think about it.
Okay, I'm thinking.
You put alcohol in your car.
Thinking about it.
You put alcohol.
All right, let's think.
You put alcohol in your car and it goes down the road, right?
What?
What's that doing to your body?
I put alcohol in a car?
In your
That's
car.
right. Top fuel dragster. Alcohol.
Oh, okay.
Vroom, vroom.
And that it burns what, hotter or faster? So it.
Yeah, but that's
Okay.
not
That's
not
a
how it
bad-
works in your body.
Bad analogy. Bad analogy.
Yeah,
Because top fuel dragster, alcohol
You
makes you
threw
go
me
fast.
off. I'm like,
Vroom.
I don't put. You put alcohol in your car, Charlie?
Yeah, share the secret.
Right. So I mean, you could say that about just about anything, though. Like greasy pizza. You don't
Well,
want to
there
put
you
that in
go.
your car.
There you go.
You put pizza in your car or a cheeseburger.
Well, I can't get it home from the pizza store if I don't put it in the car.
Yep. Wisdom.
Oh man, Charlie, that's
Dun-dun-dun.
definitely that's a really good one. You're full of it tonight, Charlie.
He's on point.
He is on point.
That was
On
great.
point, Charlie. I like that.
On point, Charlie.
So
For the fact checker.
that's the fact checker is on point, Charlie. Now
On point, Charlie.
I'm gonna get me one of them sticks so I can point at you.
you
That
should.
was episode 8 too. Don't point at me.
Don't point. Yeah, yeah. He's like a tough guy or whatever, and he threw me off. And then I'm like pointing, and he's like, "Don't point at me." He's doing it on live. Yeah, dude, don't point at me. And I'm like, "Huh?" He's like, "Are you serious?" And he's like, "No, don't point at me, man." And I'm like, "Oh."
Yeah, he's like in the middle of the conversation, and Jason's kind of talking, and then all of a sudden he goes, "Don't point at me."
Don't point at me, man. And then I do it, I just naturally do
And
it
he goes,
throughout the
"Dude,
pot.
dude,
Hey
don't
man,
point at
what did
me."
I say about pointing at me? I'm like, are you guys setting me up? Like, is this a prank or is this real life?
Oh, they set
It
you
was
up big
funny.
time because they started off with AA, and
Yeah.
you were thinking Alcoholics Anonymous.
Yeah, I thought he was talking about Alcoholics Anonymous, and he's talking about adoption
awareness.
awareness.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And like you could see it, like I'm not connecting, and he's going on with this thing, and he's not seeing, like he's thinking I understand what he's talking about. But of course, when someone says AA, you're gonna think they're talking about alcoholics or American Airlines or
I definitely think AA Ron.
AA. Oh, I love that one, dude. AA Ron,
Yeah, we were watching that last night.
dude. That guy's so funny.
So what would that
dude.
make your name?
J.A. son? J.A. son?
That's right. J.A. son. That's hilarious.
Yo, J.A. son? Is there a J.A. son?
That's right. Quit being
mean
churlish.
Jason?
What was the other one that? Oh, a Harley? Was it?
There was a D Nice,
D Nice. D Nice.
Timothy,
Timothy.
Present.
Oh my God.
There was a couple of good ones.
Yeah,
Couple
those
of good
get
ones.
Blocky.
Balake.
Balake. Oh, and what? That was Blank or
Blake.
Blake. Balaki.
Oshag
You mean-
Hennessy.
Oh, dude, that's so funny. I would play that, but I think copyright. I can't believe that, man. Copyright. Dang it.
Dang.
I'm still trying to figure out how I can do
I
that
think
stuff.
you can play it, but you have to.
Review it. Yeah, we're reviewing it, watching it, critiquing it, criticizing it,
Laughing about it.
laughing about it.
There you go.
I did do one of was it Key and Peele? I did one of their little videos. I played that on one of my podcasts and had the video going and stuff. And it was the one where they were he was a cop chasing this criminal, and he's like, freeze, don't move. And then he's like, don't move. And the guy starts moving. Don't move your leg. Don't take a step. And he starts taking a step. Don't open that door. Don't you open that door. And he's looking at him. He's like, don't you get in that car. Don't you sit down. And then it gets all the way to the point where, don't you open that glove box. He slowly opens the glove box, and then there's a gun in there. Don't you put your hands on that gun. Don't you put your hands on that gun. And then he puts his hands on the gun, and then eventually it ends with him holding the gun on him, and he's like, man. So I thought that was pretty funny. But that's how people expect cops to, be
I don't
these
know
days.
if that was funny or just watching you try to mimic it was funny.
That's even funny.
Charlie and I weren't laughing, but
I was laughing on the
you
inside.
could see, we could tell.
Yeah.
It was exciting me. I hate that when you tell a joke and you're expecting laughter, and then people are just staring at you.
Well, you did a good
Story
job.
of my life.
You did a good job explaining that joke.
Yeah, I like to talk with my hands. Okay,
It's good.
and my son does it.
Don't point at me.
Don't you point at me. My son does that. He got that from me. Now he talks. He's talking with his hands.
Oh, what's worse than that is he won't give up on the Scoville.
Oh yeah,
Mention something hot. How many Scoville units is that guy?
Oh,
that is great.
We introduced him to his teacher, and that's all. He's talking about 9 million Scoville gummy bear, death nectar gummy bear hot, and the teacher's
nectar.
like, "What are you talking about?"
That's great.
Yeah, we did Mr. Payne on the last podcast.
It was hot.
What do you mean it was hot?
It was hot. I was getting the hiccups.
It was not hot. It instantly gave him the hiccups. Instantly.
I get the hiccups when I eat spicy stuff, so
It was not hot at all.
I can't wait till we actually do the gummy bear when it's crazy hot.
Dude, you'll be on the ground crying.
That will be our best podcast yet.
No, it will end. You got to do that at the very last because you will be on the ground crying.
Yeah.
Take me to the hospital. I can't take it anymore.
Jesus.
Because this was only I got it from Pepper Palace down in Branson, and they're only more on flavor than hotness. Mm-hmm. So they don't really know how many Scoville units are in it. He said probably between 850 to 1 million.
That's a pretty wide spread there.
Yeah, 850 to 1 million.
And that's the first time Jason instantly got the hiccups, was on that. And he's had hotter stuff than that.
Yeah, I had the Dave's ghost pepper sauce, and that was hotter than that one, definitely. And I had, when I took a spoonful, I immediately had the hiccups, instantly. And my stomach was, hurting, and I had drool just coming out of my mouth. But the thing is I had all of my friends try it, and they're like, wait a minute, dude, have you even tried this stuff? And I'm like, no. And they made me do it. But all my other friends, they threw up. So they took it, and their stomachs started hurting, and they just started blowing chunks everywhere. It was crazy. And I didn't.
Then you did
but
a trick with Emily and
oh no,
or whatever her name
no,
is.
yeah, we had so there was these two girls, my wife and a friend of ours, and they were gonna do the challenge, and I'm like, hey, honey, let's do this. And I put Cholula in my wife's spoon, and I put the ghost pepper in the other girl. It was messed up of me to do that. So my wife does it, and then this other lady does it, and she's in pain, horrible pain. We felt horrible. My wife wasn't reacting because it was Cholula. And dude, that was so wrong of me. And then we told her, and then, my wife, I think eventually. Yeah, I haven't seen her or heard from her since. But I did see this one where, oh, by the way, Charlie, we're doing next Sunday for all the listeners. We're going to be doing the Packy chip, that hot chip, the world's hottest chip. I'm going to be doing that because the guest that's coming on has 2 of them, and I'm going to do one of them, and it's insanely hot. So I can't wait for that one. This is just like the hot sauce podcast now.
Yeah, I can go downstairs and get the wheel if you want.
The wheel of hot.
I won't be.
You don't do hot stuff?
No. You can call me a sissy, and I'll own it.
Well, at least you own it. What about? Have you ever done the gallon challenge?
Nope. No.
The gallon challenge. Okay, I did this when I was in high school.
Is that like
a bunch of my
is
friends.
that like the Tide Pod challenge?
Oh no, I didn't eat Tide Pods, Charlie. Or did I? No. It's called the gallon challenge, and what you do is you have to drink a gallon of milk in 10 minutes. Okay, and so me and my friends are like, dude, we're gonna do this, and this was before we really had the cell phones and stuff. So we had like an old school camera, and we go to Kroger grocery store, and we're looking for the milk that we're gonna get. And I thought I was a wise guy, and I was like, you know what? They're all getting the 2%, light milk. I'm gonna get some rich chocolate milk. Well, foolish me. We're doing our thing. We're recording it, and they're chugging, and they get about halfway into the gallon, and then they're just puking everywhere. And we were on a balcony, and there's just everyone's puking. And I'm grabbing this chocolate milk, and I'm like, chugging it, and I get it down to like there, and it was so weird. I puked twice really quick. It was just like. I don't know if it grosses you out, but I puked so fast it hit the roof of my mouth and it shot straight down. Like that, I mean, it about blew my teeth out, man. It was just like, and it just squirted down twice real fast. And then the funny thing is, though, we gathered his family and everyone, and we're like, dude, we got to watch this. And we played it, and we put it in reverse because the tape recorder, you can reverse it. So we played it in reverse. And it looked like we were sucking it back up in our mouth, and we're dying laughing, and all the women were like, "That's so gross. You guys think that's funny?" Oh, the good days, man, the good old days. So, what do you got to say,
Uncle
Charlie?
Bob at Uncle Bob's Self Storage in Upper Saddle River, New Jersey. Freakishly fast, competitive eater Takeru Kabasi.
Takeru Kabasi. Oh yeah, that's
not only
I know
successfully completed the gallon challenge, he obliterated it.
Obliterated.
He downed an entire gallon of whole milk in 20 seconds.
No.
That's impressive.
No way. How do you?
Did he keep it down?
Yeah.
How do you drink an entire gallon of milk in 20 seconds? Apparently, this guy did. I'm going to have to watch that afterwards.
I could drink a gallon in 20 hours.
20 hours?
It's not keto friendly. I can't drink it at all.
Maybe I should do that in the next show. I don't want to puke all over my stuff, though. All over the microphone. It's like soaked in milk.
Get you a really small airplane barf bag.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Overflow.
Oh, man, I'd fill that thing up instantly. I'd blow a hole right through it. Wow, so that guy, dude, I just can't even imagine that. 20 seconds. That's a impressive. Lot of milk, man.
I bet he looked pregnant too.
Wow, that's incredible. So I don't think there's really much else I wanted to talk about. We covered pretty much everything about your entire life that there is worth knowing today.
Sweet.
On the podcast.
Whatever.
But we'll save, the next podcast we do down the road. I'm sure there'll be some more updates in your life, and maybe we could talk more about your fishing endeavors.
Yeah, we can come and tell you about all the fish that we catch.
All the big, huge, giant fish that you caught.
What is the biggest fish you caught?
I don't know.
Little crappie. You guys were trying to explain it's crappie or crappie.
It's spelled crappie, but it's pronounced crappie.
Right. So that's what I thought. We used to take crappie and we would tie them to a pole, and we would go down to the river and we just leave it there, and we'd catch big old catfish with the crappie.
You probably should edit that part out because that's illegal. You're not supposed to use a game fish.
When I was a kid.
When I was a kid. Yeah,
when I was a kid. And that's true. When I was a kid.
Yeah, you're not supposed to use game fish for game fish.
Are you serious?
Yes. You're not supposed to use game fish for bait. But that's okay. That's okay. You was in Alaska or something.
Yeah, I was somewhere in another country. Anyways,
really, I don't know. We've caught a lot of big fish.
Have you been trout fishing?
Yeah. Yep.
Did you like it?
I like fishing for trout, but I don't like to eat them too much.
You don't like to?
Do you know that when I was in Michigan, and one of my previous marriages, I was married to a gal that had 120 acres. and on 120 acres, there was a lake, and we actually were trying to gravel out the property because that's where the lake come from. It was a gravel pit at one time, and we couldn't because we found out that it was the headwaters to the 10th cleanest stream in the nation.
Nice.
Wow, that's a bummer, and it's awesome at the same time. So trout fishing, I've been once, and I saw some people like fly fishing for
What kind of trout?
I think it was rainbow trout? What
I
called?
don't think there's a
Is
rainbow,
it rainbow
trout.
trout or
No such thing as a rainbow trout.
no such thing? Is there rainbow trout, Charlie? I think there is. But we went trout fishing, and it was down somewhere in Missouri. It was a famous area for trout.
Nope, no trout in Missouri.
Oh, that's baloney. That's baloney. I know that's not true.
Was it Bennett Springs?
Yes, that is exactly where it was.
And it was rainbow trout?
Yep.
Yeah, there's a rainbow trout.
Yeah, I was like, I went when I was a teenager, but I'm like, I'm pretty sure it was rainbow trout, and it was at Bennett Springs.
So
and it was fun too.
When Elizabeth was down, Elizabeth's my daughter, oldest daughter. When she was down, was it earlier this month or was it last month?
It was last month, earlier or later last month.
Late last month. One of the things she picked to do while we were in Branson was go to Dogwood Canyon.
Yeah.
Well, after the fact of going there, I found out that the owner of Bass Pro Shop owns 90% of Branson.
Are you serious?
That's
I didn't know
figuratively
that.
saying he doesn't own 90% of Branson.
Yeah,
but it's close
somebody's
to it.
going to fact check
Fact
us
check.
on you. Yeah.
Fact check.
Oh, you just wait in the comments.
Mhm.
Actually, that's not true. It's
But there's a lot of stuff he owns down there. He owns Dogwood Canyon. He owns Top of the Rock.
Does he own the bottom of the rock?
I don't know if he does. I hope
what
so.
the side
I
of
hope
the
so
rock?
if he owns the top and then he owns the bottom too, or otherwise somebody could take it out from underneath him. But he does own, he's the owner of Bass Pro Shop, so everything down around there is Bass Pro Shop.
I
And
did not know that.
Dogwood Canyon was really cool, but they had like 20 waterfalls. Now they were man-made, some of them, but man-made as far as they pumped the water up so it would come down.
Right.
But it was kind of cool, and that thing was full of the rainbow trout, full of them.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. We went with my friend's grandpa, and I thought it was fun. The water was freezing cold. I remember that, and these guys wearing their little get up, and they're out there standing there with fly fishing rods, and they're like, whoosh.
Yeah, there was two guys down fly fishing at Table Rock Lake at the bottom of the dam.
"Oh, really?" Yeah, I mean, fishing is fun. It's definitely. I wish people would do it more.
Fishing sucks.
I enjoy it.
Catching is amazing.
Okay. All right, wise guy.
So, do you go fishing by yourself, or do you always have somebody with you?
Both. I really honestly, I mean, I know we talk a little bit about crappie fishing, but my favorite fishing is walleye fishing. And walleye fishing is really, really, really difficult.
I've never heard of walleye fish.
You need to come to Michigan if you like to walleye fish.
Yep, there's walleye fishing is awesome in Michigan. And of course, as you go further north, it's amazing. But believe it or not, I believe there's a world-renowned walleye fishery here at Truman and Lake of the Ozarks. And pretty regularly, the first 2 weeks of March, we catch some pretty big females. I mean, 6 to 15 pound females come right below the dam at Truman, and you definitely want to you don't want to put your thumbs in their mouths because they have teeth and they will light you up.
Is it? I don't know if this is a real fish or if they're pulling my leg. And then they're joking. And then when I get done with this podcast, they're like, "This dude totally thought there was walleye." It's kind of like what is it called? Where you tell people they go out in the cornfield and go hunting for snipe.
Snipe hunting.
Snipe hunting.
That's a real thing.
No, it's not. It's not real. I'm not falling for this crap.
Again, you're not falling for it again, you said.
I'm not falling for it again. Hey, no, I fell for the snipe thing. I didn't do it. But I was like, is that really real? And I thought about doing it, but I never did. So
Hey,
the legend
15
of the
years
snipe
ago, if
hunting.
you had told me there was a fish called crappie, I'd have told you were full of crappie.
Full of crap.
You're full of crap. Crappie. All right, man. Well, it's been good.
Thanks for
hanging
having
out
me.
with you, and we kind of just broke some ice here and got to know you a little bit about your fishing.
We still got time to talk about mushrooms? 'Cause
Yeah,
we never
could
got
talk,
back to that.
We could talk about everything.
Well, we're
coming up on deer season. We should be talking about shooting
Oh,
animals. Is what we
snap.
should be doing.
Should we let this go over the hour, Charlie?
Sure.
I mean, you're not even on video, so it's going to be easier to edit.
You can do whatever makes you happy.
Well, there's a lot of things that make me happy, but I can't do all of them.
Crappy make you happy.
Crappie make me happy.
Hey, the best,
Crappie
the
crappie
best
make me
crappie I've had
happy.
in a long time was battered in pork rind.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, we just did a fish fry two
You coulda
Sundays
came.
ago. Yeah, you could have came.
I told you I was going to fish fry.
You battered it in pork rinds?
Yes.
We had several different batters, I believe. Some Andes, some
Yeah, there's some
Louisiana,
cornmeal.
some I believe there was some Slap Yo Mama.
Slap yo mama.
Slap Yo
I've seen-
Mama fish fry. And then there was cornmeal and just some egg and then Charlie brought pork rinds and I too thought, what in the world? But it wasn't bad. It wasn't
Wow.
bad, it was pretty good.
Dang, that's pretty cool. When I was a kid, one of my best memories was going to fish fries.
Mm-hmm.
And the cool thing is, though, I grew up out in the country, and so you had a lot of people that liked to play bluegrass, like the elderly people.
Yeah.
They'd bring their little banjos and everything, and it was just, and it was before I knew how to play guitar. I played a little bit, and so I'd sit there with them and just play away, but it was so much fun, man.
Good
The catfish was really good, and if it's breaded right, it's good.
Yep.
Real good. And then we'd have the
Mad
corn
Jacks.
muffins and Mad Jacks.
Mad Jacks.
What's that?
Actually, it's a restaurant downtown Kansas City. I don't know if it's on the Kansas side or if it's on the Missouri side, but they've also got a battery you can buy.
Oh, Mad
Yeah,
Jacks.
Mad Jacks, you walk in and it's a restaurant
Mm-hmm.
/ fish market.
Right.
So
I've never been there, never heard of it, but I'll have to
Yeah.
check it out.
I've heard of it, but I've not been in it.
yeah, it's a dump, hole in the wall dump, but
Well, usually
dump,
those are the
but-
best places to eat.
Yeah,
Best food, yep.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And that was, again, I tried catfish before and hated it. And he took us there and catfish, and I was like, wow.
It reminds me of, like, I don't like stuff that's like really fishy.
Amen.
It's-
Preach it, brother.
Yeah, I don't like really fishy stuff, but and also with
Then you,
know,
make sure
growing
you
up
get
in the-
the mud vein out then.
I know what that is, and that's, yeah, you definitely got to clear all that out. So when I grew up out in the country, I ate a lot of deer meat because, you know, we grew up poor. We didn't have a lot of money. So everybody hunted around there and they would donate deer meat. And so I ate a lot of deer
What's deer meat
steak,
called?
venison, venison, right?
I think it's called Vincent.
Vincent meat, venison. I think it's venison.
Mincemeat, isn't it?
It's venison. Minced meat. That's well. And my mom had this grinder, and so she'd bring in this deer meat, and it was like dark. You know, I was like, oh, this is disgusting. And she'd put it in there, and so we'd have deer hamburger. Let's make spaghetti out of it. We'd have deer steaks, but I couldn't stand the wild gamey taste.
That's why you had pork.
That's why I had what?
You had pork.
You add it to it?
You can add pork fat to it.
Well, what about milk? I heard if you soak it in milk, it takes away the gamey wild taste.
Really, all food is all about prep. It's how you prep. How you clean your fish. If you take the red meat out, red meat makes a heavy fish taste. Deer, you want to bleed them out. You want to hang them up, let all the blood get out of them before you begin process. If you go right into immediate processing and there's still a little bit of blood in there, that's what brings your gamey taste to it.
I did not know that.
There's a bunch of different things you can do to get rid of the gamey taste.
So is it like it here, like it up in Michigan? Because up north, it's all pine trees.
Mhm.
So, but down south,
Well, down here they're grained out. They're grained out on soybeans and corn.
yeah, okay. So they got a lot of corn down south in the state, but up north there's no corn for them to eat. So
Just all pine trees, huh?
it's up whatever they can get their hands on. I guess I don't know.
And I don't know if you guys know it or not, but the youngest of the animals are usually the tastiest.
Oh,
They don't have that gamey taste, and the meat is really tender. And so, you guys might be mad, but Bambi, them spots are for aiming.
oh, I was getting ready to say Bambi. No, I like. I will say this. I really enjoyed deer jerky.
Yep.
That was good stuff.
Mhm.
Because you got all the pepper, like the spices in it. It's just
Cover up
really
the
good.
game.
Yeah.
Cover up the game taste. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I liked it a lot. We would make our own. We had this like machine that would dehydrate the meat.
Dehydrator?
Yeah,
Yep.
it was great. Some good
That's
memories.
called a dehydrator.
Dehydrator, yeah. I haven't done that since I was a kid though, because I didn't live in the country.
Because now
anymore.
we have grocery stores.
Now we have
And
grocery
the
stores and
provide the meat.
and the overpriced jerky.
That's right.
Ridiculous, man.
$10 on a quarter pound of jerky.
That's so dumb. Why?
This place burnt, not like last year, the year before, but up in Michigan, up in I'm not going to try to remember the name, but they had the best jerky I've ever had, and they had all kinds of jerky. Yeah. Any animal you can harvest and eat, human wise, they had their jerky.
I'm just gonna stick with beef jerky and deer jerky.
Beef
want
and
elk?
deer.
You don't want elk?
Elk jerky's good, but I wouldn't want to waste elk meat on making jerky.
Is elk meat really good?
Fire, awesome.
It's amazing.
Yes.
So compared to beef, elk is
And yeah,
Buffalo's even better.
Yeah, buffalo is really good.
bison
also.
burgers
Yeah.
and bison steaks.
I think elk is probably my favorite, game animal. For
Really?
meat. Oh, it's amazing.
I haven't had elk.
You're missing out.
I think I've had a bison burger once.
Have you had alligator?
I've never had alligator.
Tastes just like chicken,
Really?
except you're chewier.
Really?
You haven't had alligator?
I've not. I've had a few buddies that have brought some back, and they've been greedy and wouldn't share.
Wouldn't share it?
They
Well,
wouldn't share any
Some of the
with me.
grocery stores around here have it frozen, and it's not going to be the same as getting it fresh. But some of the grocery stores sell it frozen.
Yep.
Yeah,
what
we had
a-
a Cajun Roadkill Cafe in Three Rivers. It was kind of neat restaurant. The girls really loved going there because if I sat at this table
you are
and I
sitting
liked
at that table.
and I like the chair that I'm sitting at, and even the table, I
Yeah.
take it home with me.
What?
Yeah, you could buy all the equipment.
Oh, you can buy it. You
Yeah.
don't just take it.
No,
Okay.
you don't take it. You buy it.
I like this table. I'm just going to
That's
take
right.
it.
And you know what you ought to do, Jason? You ought to have all the people that come on the podcast sign the ceiling.
There you
I
go.
don't think my landlord would like that.
Well,
Maybe I could have like
you paint it
something where I
over-
pin up there.
You paint over when it's done.
Well, then I lose it all.
Take a picture of it.
You could put a Polaroid picture of people or not.
Yeah, I
You
could
could
cover
take those
the.
with you.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good idea. Maybe I could
Because
do that.
that's what they did there too. You get to, kind of like that breakfast restaurant that you went to that let you put your name on the wall.
Oh yeah, that was
So that's what they used to do too.
the Shack, Breakfast Shack.
Yeah.
It was funny because I had a moving company, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to advertise on this, and so I wrote my, moving company name and then the number, and never got any calls from it. Didn't work out. Didn't work out for me at all.
You didn't put it in the right place.
I didn't. I probably shouldn't have put it right where they sit, like at the bottom where they cover it. Didn't think that through.
That's great.
So, anyways, I think I'm gonna definitely wrap it up this time.
we didn't,
Charlie,
we
what
didn't
the
finish mushrooms.
He's never, Peter. He's scared to talk about mushrooms.
Charlie? All I know is the word.
We're 8 minutes over, and you know how much editing this is going to take.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking about. I'm like, oh my.
We can have part two. Now that I know what I'm getting into, I understand what we're doing. I could maybe contribute some ridiculous jokes.
And stories. I want to hear some funny, ridiculous stories about,
All
when
right.
you were hunting, like something that happened.
Before we close, you got to give us one good fishing story that went wrong.
Yeah, let's do that. We'll close with that.
Well,
What's a funny?
I was
Right.
I was in Canada. I went into a fly-in fishing trip in Canada. So we drove up into Canada, and then we got onto a plane and we flew out to some cabins, and we stayed there for a week. And I think there was about 10 of us. And the guy who put it all together was a good friend of mine, and he's probably about 30 years older than me, if not probably 40 years older than me. And he was stepping off of dock into the boat, and he completely missed the boat. And he totally, that's another facial expression I'll never forget. It was kind of as he was falling, grab me and save me. And before anybody could do anything, he was
gone.
in the water. He's
gone.
And it was cold.
And that's such warm water up in Canada.
Man, it was cold. And, we're reaching down to pull him out, and, he had to go change and all of that stuff. But it was just... It was epic. I think the excitement of everybody wanting to all get in the boats and go and get the fish, and he straight stepped in between the boat and the dock and went swimming. And, better him than me. I mean, it was funny for me, but I bet it wasn't funny from his perspective.
I can only imagine what was going through his mind as he's stepping off. Just like, I bet he was just like, oh.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
And then he's gone.
And then the facial, I'm telling you, the facial expression.
Like, I'm sure it's still in your mind, like his face, like.
From fear to cold water. Like, oh my gosh, this is cold.
I can picture that. When you pulled him out, he was like an ice cube, and that expression was frozen right there.
Yeah, he's just like.
It was wild. We got a few of them.
So it goes from excitement, get ready to step on the boat, like this is exciting,
to fear.
Yeah, to fear, to like.
Did he stay fishing, or did he go back and?
No, he changed, and then we went fishing. I mean, there's
that would have been hardcore if he's just like,
I'm done.
You know what?
Let's
do this.
Long drive, a lot of money to just
not walk.
fish.
Yeah.
And,
that reminds me of this time, dude. Like, okay, one of the funniest things I've ever seen. My sister, we were going out on a boat, and my sister, we were younger. She goes to get in the boat, but it like pushed away from the dock, and she's holding on to the side. Dude, I wish I had this on video. She was full stretched out.
Yeah.
Her feet, her tippy toes were on the dock, and her arms were holding onto the boat, and she was fully stretched out like a bridge, dude.
She was planking.
Planking the water, and she's staring dead at the water. And there's nothing you can do about it. Like, you just gotta let go. And she wouldn't let go, man. She was like death gripping that boat, man. Oh, dude, it was. I'm laughing as the brother. I just can't. I can't breathe. Everyone's just like, stop laughing. And I'm like, dude, this is so funny.
But he does laugh at
bad things.
Coming to the corniest and bad things too.
Oh, when he was at, sorry, I'm pointing at you. I could just hear Mike's,
don't point at me.
His voice in my head. Don't point, man. Don't. So when you were at Church on the Rock doing an Easter service, and they're singing this song, "Arise, my love, arise," and there was this sound effect, and it was this random thunder. It was just like, and somebody had it too loud, and I'm videotaping it, and I'm just laughing so hard, and you can see the camera shaking, and I'm just dying laughing. I need to find. I have that video, Charlie. I should put it up. If I find it, I'll slip it somewhere in this podcast.
Sure you will, but you won't show your arm from eating the gummy peppers.
That's true. Maybe, I'll throw in my arm, like a quick shot of my arm. Because I was doing this podcast, and I just didn't put it out there because I messed up the setting for the video. And my left arm was like this, and my right arm was huge.
From what?
I don't. It's the camera wide angle lens setting, and it made my arm skinny and my other arm huge.
That's great.
And so I'm like, dude, I ain't putting that out there. That's horrible. It's horrible. All right, man. It was good hanging out with you, Scott
absolutely.
McCollum.
Scott McCollum. Yep.
McCollum.
Yep,
I got
McCollum.
Is it like a?
No.
Not a
Just McCollum.
Scott McCollum, it's been great. You've been an
Thanks.
awesome guest, man.
Thanks,
a lot
man.
of good stories,
That's
and
right,
we're definitely going to have you on again.
My cheeks hurt from smiling. So.
Which cheeks? Which ones?
No. My facial cheeks
All
hurt
right,
from smiling. You guys have a good night.
I have to clarify that, but love you guys. I love all my fans out there. Guys, like I tell you every time, please, let's make this world a better place. Make people smile. Make their cheeks smile, not their butt cheeks, but their cheeks. Their cheeks. You know what I'm saying. But anyways, guys, love you. Make good choices, and stay tuned for the next podcast. We're out of here. See you later.
Thanks for listening to the This Could Make Us Famous podcast. Want to help make someone famous? Have a story to share? Get in touch with us at facebook.com/This Could Make Us Famous. And be sure to subscribe to this podcast so you don't miss a single episode.